Good afternoon, everyone. I think as everybody knows, this is Small Business Week, which is the week when we celebrate our nation's small businesses, which do represent the backbone of our economy. If you look at the definition, 99% of the businesses in this country are considered to be small businesses. They are folks that are out there investing every day, creating jobs, and making our economy hum. And so as we think about Small Business Week and what they need in order to keep doing the things that they do to create better paying jobs, invest in their economy, grow their businesses, we think the tax code is a big part of that. In the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, there were clear provisions that were designed to incentivize, provide incentives for our small businesses to invest and grow. And many of those are going to be expiring at the end of this year. And so we believe that we need to not only extend, but make permanent those very provisions that in the 2017 law. I was involved in writing that bill. There were a couple of key issues. We wanted to lower rates, and we wanted to accelerate or create faster cost recovery for businesses so they would have that incentive to invest. It worked. We had remarkable results in our economy. So we think that making those provisions permanent will lead to even more growth in our economy. In fact, the National Federation of Independent Business has estimated that making the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act permanent would lead to 1.2 million jobs created each year. And there's some suggestion that could be significantly larger as time goes on. In the alternative, if we don't extend and make permanent the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, at the end of this year, our small businesses are going to be facing a $600 billion tax hike. And that is what the Democrats here are going to be voting for if they choose not to work with us to extend the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. What I can tell you is Republicans are totally committed, Senate, House, and White House, to ensuring that we have conditions for our small businesses in this country that are favorable to economic growth, favorable to investment, favorable to creating better paying jobs and ensuring that workers in this country have the best economy available for them and their families that leads to higher wages and better benefits. With that, I will happy to take questions. So let's go over.
Democrats are threatening to vote against a stable point bill that's come out of the committee. Are you still planning to file closer on that if there aren't changes to the bill?
Well, I've made it clear to the Democrats that we welcome any suggestions they have about changes. But remember, there have been a ton of changes made already. So the Republican authors of that bill, working with the Democrat authors of the bill, have produced 6 different versions in response to feedback that they've gotten. And so if you look at Bill Hagerty, Cynthia Lummis, Kirsten Gillibrand, the people who have worked on and authored this bill, they have now gone, put the draft out there, got it back, put it back out there, got it back, and a lot of the feedback they've received is from Democrats. 6 different times they've done that. So this is like an iterative process that's been going on for several months. And it had a markup in the Senate Banking Committee, which is what I've always said. We want to go through regular order. We want to make sure that these bills have a process whereby other members have a chance to offer amendments. And they did. There were 40 plus amendments that were considered at the Senate Banking Committee in a 3.5-hour markup. So there has been a ton of process already on this. I guess my question is, when will the Democrats take yes for an answer? And if they have other suggestions and things that they want incorporated into the draft, we are certainly welcome to taking a look at and working with them on that. But we need to start moving forward. This is a piece of legislation that has broad bipartisan support. I think if we get it on the floor, it could get a really good vote for both Republicans and Democrats. But we've got to get it there. And right now, the Democrats are talking about filibustering, blocking, even proceeding to the bill. And we think it's important that we proceed to it, and hopefully, ultimately, we pass that.
So you have raised concerns that the party cuts, spending, too much spending, and deficit money. So it's appropriate for Trump to be calling for a military parade and also rebuilding Alcatraz, both of which would be extremely expensive.
Well, I mean, I think that it sounds to me like the military parade is something that may happen. It's the 250th anniversary birthday, if you will, of the Army, and I think it's something that obviously our country probably would enjoy celebrating the heritage and history that we have with our Army and how they're contributing to our national security. So I think that's something that sounds like to me that already works. The other proposal, Alcatraz, I don't know about. We haven't seen any formal proposal on that. I know the President's made a suggestion about it. So we'll look at all of these proposals that come out of the White House as they come up to us, but we haven't seen any definitive.
Can Republicans flip the Georgia Senate seat if Martin Taylor Greene is the nominee? And will you move to discharge Ed Martin from the Judiciary Committee where his nomination is currently held?
Well, I think on the first question, we believe Georgia's going to be competitive. Have no idea who the Republican nominee will be at this point, but as I said earlier, I'm encouraged by the fact that there's a lot of interest in Republicans in Georgia, both sitting House members and some statewide office officials who are taking a hard look at the race, and we'll see how it all shakes out. But I expect Georgia will be a competitive race. We'll be close to the end, but I think it's a race that we can win. And Ed Martin, obviously, is a decision that's going to have to be made by the Senate Judiciary Committee. My understanding is they haven't scheduled anything on that yet. And so, we will cross that bridge if and when we come to it. But it's ultimately going to be a decision that the Judiciary Committee makes first.